Hey guys, what's up? I am back with a brand new video and it's time to do a PUBG test between the Poco X3 Pro versus the Poco X3. And guys, and the Poco X3 has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 732G chipset with Adreno 618 GPU as well, and also we have 6 GB of RAM on the Poco X3, while on the Poco X3 Pro we have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 860 processor with Adreno 640 GPU as well, and also we have 8 GB of RAM on the Poco X3 Pro. On the back we have quad cameras as you can see, and both phones is made up of plastic on both phones. And guys, also on the front we have a Corning Gorilla Glass version 6, while on the X3 we have version 5, so that's really big thing as well. On the front we have a 6.67-inch Full HD IPS LCD display, and also we have a 120Hz refresh rate display on both these two devices, and you can see both phones has 120Hz. And the Poco X3 Pro is running on Android 11, while the X3 it is running on Android 10, and you can see both phones is running on their MIUI version 12. In this video I'm going to show you how is the Poco X3 Pro as well as the Poco X3 is perform in the PUBG mobile game. And again, and both phones also has a dual speakers, one it is on the bottom and one it is right there, so this phone give you a really good speakers as well. On the front we also have a punch hole on the center, and you can see which is also very similar on both phones. And guys, and without any wasting time, now let's quickly launch the PUBG mobile on both phones, and you can also see the FPS as well, which is right there. And I also enable the game mode on both phones. Looks like the X3 Pro is faster there. Yes, it is more faster than the Poco X3, and X3 Pro is faster there, and you can see. So X3 Pro is completely done, and the Poco X3 is take a lot of time, and now it is also done, and you can see huge difference in the game after in time, because we have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 860 on the Poco X3 Pro, while on the X3 we have a mid-range, we have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 732G. So first let me go to the settings on both phones. Let me decrease the volume. First let me go to the settings on both phones, and now let's go to the graphics. And guys, you can see that on the Poco X3 we have a smooth graphics with ultra frame rate maximum, which is also available in the balanced graphics, but in HD graphics we have high frame rate, and also we don't have any HDR on the Poco X3. And while on the Poco X3 Pro we have a smooth graphics with extreme frame rate, and you can see, and that's a really huge difference between these two devices, which is also available in the balanced HD, HDR. We also have Ultra HD on the Poco X3 Pro. In Ultra HD we have ultra frame rate, and you can see. So now let's go smooth extreme on the X3 Pro, while on the X3 now let's go smooth ultra. And also I set the style on the colorful on both phones. Without any wasting time, now let's play on the Poco X3 Pro, and you can also see the FPS as well. And Poco X3 Pro give you a maximum 60 FPS gameplay right now. I wish that we have 90 FPS on the X3 Pro, but we have 60 FPS, and you can also see the FPS as well, and you can see 60 FPS. So that's a really good thing on the Poco X3 Pro. So now let's really move around, and you can see really good. So first let me go to the settings, and also now let's on the gyro, and you can see, and the gyro it is also really responsive on this phone, no lag whatsoever, and you can see very smooth. So now let's play, and you can also see the FPS as well, and you can see this phone give you a maximum 60 FPS gameplay, no 90 FPS right now. I hope in the future we also see 90 FPS. Right now we have maximum 60 FPS. I can safely say that this is the best gaming phone in this price range. And as you can see that again FPS it is at 60, so no issue right now. And Poco X3 Pro is perform really good in the PUBG mobile game. So now let's play little bit more on the Poco X3 Pro, and everything it is really good on the Poco X3 Pro, no issue right now. And as you can see that, and the Poco X3 Pro is performed really good in the PUBG mobile game. This phone gave you a really good 60 FPS gameplay in the PUBG mobile, so that's a really good thing. So now let's play on the Poco X3 again, and this phone give you a maximum 40 FPS gameplay. You can also see the FPS as well. And this phone, it is not really good in terms of the PUBG mobile game because we does not get any extreme option on this phone. But now let's move around and let me show you the FPS. And you can see, and the FPS it is at 40, so this phone give you a 40 FPS gameplay, no 60. And now let's see the gyro on the X3 Pro.
Team match, let's go.
Always on. And you can see it is not as smooth as the Poco X3 Pro because, and this is the 40 FPS gameplay, it is not as smooth as the Poco X3 Pro, but it's work really good, no issue right now. Again, you guys are the judge of the video. Let's see the FPS it is at 40. And the gameplay it is not really smooth on the Poco X3, but it is really good, I have to say. No lag whatsoever on the Poco X3, but Poco X3 Pro it is on another level because we have a maximum 60 FPS gameplay support. So let me show you the FPS one more time. Again, FPS it is at 40. No issue right now on the Poco X3 as well. So guys, now let's go back and now let's play in the Sanhok map. Let's see that we have any FPS drop in the boot camp. So now let's play on the X3 first. Again, you can also see the FPS as well. It is not 100% all the time. You get a better idea. And you can see we are in the Sanhok. So now let's see the FPS. You can see full FPS it is at 40. So no issue right now. So now let's see that we have any FPS drop when we on the airplane. And okay, and you can see little bit FPS drop, but not that much. Again, FPS it is at 40. And now let's see the FPS as well. Again, FPS it is at 40. So no FPS drop right now, but in the start we see little bit FPS drop when we on the airplane. So now let's go to the boot camp like this. And now let's see that how is the Poco X3 is perform in the boot camp. And now we are in the boot camp, and now let's see the FPS. Now let's see the FPS, and FPS it is at full 40. And now we see a little bit FPS drop, and you can see minimum we get a 34 FPS. So you can see that not really bad, but it is not as good as the Poco X3 Pro. If you watch my gaming test of the Poco X3 Pro, and you can see minimum we get a 34 FPS on the X3. So now let's play a little bit more in the X3. So guys, you can see that we are almost completely dead. So guys, you can see that, and the Poco X3 is performed not really bad in the PUBG mobile game, even in the Sanhok. So let me show you the Poco X3 Pro. Now let's see that how is the X3 Pro is performed in the Sanhok. So now let's see that how is the Poco X3 Pro is performed in the Sanhok. And guys, and we are in the Sanhok. So now let's see the FPS. And you can see that FPS it is at 60 on the Poco X3 Pro, and you can see, and right from the start, huge difference between these two devices. But I want to show you that we have any FPS drop on the X3 Pro when we on the airplane, when we in the boot camp. So now let's see that we have any FPS drop or not. And you can see a little bit FPS drop, but not that much, 56 FPS minimum. So now let's go boot camp. Now let's go boot camp. And guys, now we are in the boot camp. So now let's see the FPS. Again, it is not 100% all the time, but you get a better idea regarding the performance. 60 FPS right now, and 57 minimum, 55 minimum, and again 60. So you can see that not really bad. But you can see that I definitely recommend the Poco X3 Pro over the Poco X3. can see that huge difference in the gameplay.
I need a weapon.
So now let's see one more time FPS. Again FPS it is at 60. So you can see that in the boot camp no FPS drop when we on the land, but in the start we see FPS drop minimum 55, while on the XC we get 37 FPS minimum. So and definitely XC Pro is perform much better than the XC. You can see that we are dead because I am not really good in this gaming. So you can see that overall I have to say regarding the Poco X3 Pro as well as the Poco X3, and you can see and the Poco X3 Pro is perform much better as compared to the Poco X3, which is obvious because we have a maximum smooth ultra on the X3, while on the X3 Pro we get a smooth extreme. So and the gameplay is much better on the Poco X3 Pro, while on the Poco X3 we get a 40 FPS gameplay. So that's about it, and thank you so much for watching this PUBG test between the Poco X3 Pro versus the Poco X3. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel for daily tech videos. Overall I have to say that, and the device it is, I would say, more warmer on the Poco X3 Pro. I don't know why. I think that the gameplay is more better on the Poco X3 Pro, so that is why this phone it is a little bit more warm as compared to the X3, but not really overheating issue I have to say. So I will catch you in my next video. Peace out.